Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to say Merry Christmas then. I think it's gone. I think it's too late for Merry Christmas, isn't it? And it's too early for Happy New Year, so happy in between. Hope you all had a lovely Christmas and looking forward to New Year's Eve if you're going out or chilling at home. We're going to our friend's wedding, which I'm really excited about. And at first I was like, a wedding on New Year's Eve? And then I was like, that's an amazing idea. So very much looking forward to that. My mum is having Max for the evening, so he's staying here at home. So yeah, a few drinks, bit of a dance and celebrate our lovely friends getting married, so I can't wait. I hope you all had wonderful Christmases. We had a brilliant time. Loads of eating, being with family. It was just the traditional wonderful Christmas. Max loved all the attention, loved all of his toys, loved the wrapping paper and the cardboard boxes, probably the most, sitting in the cardboard boxes and being pushed about in them. But I really feel like he's, over this week of Christmas, he's just even more come out of himself. He's just like walking around all over the place now, not as kind of stumbly as he was 2 weeks ago. He's so vocal, he's chattering away. Yeah, I think he's loved being around his aunties and uncle and his granny and granddads and his cousins as well, Rory and Hermione. So I think he's loved being with them. So it's been a really lovely time. But I must admit, I'm quite excited about the new year and getting the house back to normal. I mean, I've already taken down the lights and the Christmas cards. The tree is coming down tomorrow at some point when we get back. Maybe the day after, actually, depending on how we're feeling. But I'm not kidding, the tree is just like, wilted. All the branches have just dropped. The baubles are not even hanging anymore. The baubles are just like dumped on the, within all the branches. And the whole tree is kind of like leaning to one side. It's literally dying before our eyes. But it has been up since the 29th of November, so I think it's done a pretty good run. But yeah, that needs to come down. And I'm just really looking forward to getting the lounge back to normal, sorting Max's toys out, giving the house a real good spring clean. Spring, you know what I mean? January clean. And I've even put in the diary, I've even scheduled a Saturday, for Joe and I to have a huge house clear out, because it's just one of those things that it's definitely a two-man job. It needs to be done, and we can go into the new year with a nice fresh house. So I'm really excited about that. Is anyone else going to do the same? So yeah, absolutely loved the whole of December and all of Christmas, but I'm really excited for fresh start, a new year and new adventures and whatever life brings in 2016. And so with that in mind, I thought I would do a little 10 things that I've learnt since becoming a mum, because I've had 13 months of being a parent, as is Joe being a dad. I'm sure he'll be interesting to actually what he's learnt. Maybe I'll get him to do that one day. But yeah, I thought I'd give you my top 10 of what I've learnt since being a mum, because I've learnt a lot. And number one, the first one, I have written them down, because I've got a crap memory, is that I don't need as much sleep as I thought. Now, when I found out I was pregnant, after the sheer elation, hysteria, amazement, scary thoughts, nervousness, etc., I thought, oh my God, how am I going to cope? Everyone says that you don't sleep for like 18 years or something ridiculous. And I was always someone that needed 8 hours minimum, like literally minimum 8 hours sleep every single night. If you ask my friend Liz, who I used to live with in Manchester, she'd always take the mick out of me, because at 10 o'clock on the dot, I'd be, night Liz, I'm off to bed, and wouldn't arise until 8 o'clock the next day. That's more than 8 hours, obviously, but you know what I mean. And she would be there at 1, 2 in the morning doing a bloody ironing or pottering around the apartment, happy as Larry, wake up at 7 the next day, absolutely fine. So I've always needed my sleep. So I was really scared that I was like, oh my God, how am I going to cope? Because, you know, you kind of hear all these things that you can't function. You know, I mean, it's almost like if I don't get enough sleep, it's like I've got a chronic hangover and I just feel drunk and zombified, horrendous. So I was worried about that, but actually, and don't get me wrong, there have been the odd days where I'm thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get through the day? But I have gone through days where I've had 3 hours, 4 hours sleep, and I'm all right. I've functioned. I've looked after my baby. I've got through the day and, you know, done all the things that I needed to do. And now I definitely don't need it. It's almost like Joe and I have switched, because Joe never needed that much sleep and he now needs loads of sleep, or, you know, always wants more sleep. And I'm kind of there at midnight still reading or you know, writing things down or on my phone, whatever, and I'm absolutely fine. And then, you know, if Max wakes up in the night, then so be it, and then I'll be up at 6:30, 7 o'clock the next morning, and there we go. So I feel quite impressed with myself, actually, that I definitely don't need as much sleep as I thought I used to. So that's one big thing. Number 2, I have definitely learned to become more patient and more calm. I suppose I do. It is in my character. I have got quite a short fuse. I can be quite temperamental, and I can be quite highly strung, I suppose. But since having Max, it's still a work in progress. I'm not saying I'm like the most calmest Zen person ever, but I'm definitely a lot more patient. You need to be patient with a child, especially now as he's getting older. He's testing me. He's, you know, whether it's throwing food on the floor, whether it's repeatedly pressing the sky button, on, off, on, off, on, off, whether it's try and getting the wood out of the fire basket, the wood for the fire out of the wood basket, not listening to me, whether it's I take something away and he's now started to cry his eyes out and then be perfectly happy in like 5 minutes. Or whether when he doesn't want to eat his food, you know, I've cooked his nice dinner, he doesn't want to eat it, chucks it on the floor, spits it out. Frustrating to the heavens above. So frustrating and very easy to lose my temper. But I haven't, because I've kind of thought, I don't want Max. Whenever I feel like I'm going to boil over, I think, I don't want Max to think that's acceptable, to get really frustrated, to shout, to go, oh, stop it, you know, to be so over the top. I think it's good for him to see different emotions, of course it is, but, you know, not unnecessary ones. I can't wait for this brace to come off. So I've definitely learned to, just breathe, be more calm and be more patient. And I should ask my sisters, but I'm sure I have asked them, and I'm sure they agree that I have become more calm, but they might watch this and be like, no, we never said that, SJ, what are you talking about? But I think Joe thinks it as well. I definitely know I'm much more patient and more calm now. And so that can only be a good thing. Number 3, I have learned to be more tolerant and to let silly things go. Now I'm more relating this to Joe and I. Again, being quite temperamental, having strong opinions, standing my ground when I believe in something. Joe's very sarcastic, so I would often mistake his sarcasm for an insult, and 9 times out of 10, he's not being insulting, he's not being rude, he's not being malicious, he's just being sarcastic and he's just trying to get a laugh. But a lot of the time, I don't really find it very funny, so I would kind of snap or, you know, just make a mountain out of a molehill, basically. And I think I've become a lot more tolerant since having Max, and will either let it go, or I will actually think to myself, he didn't mean that. I'm trying to think of a good example. I don't know, probably something to do with the house. Like if I've spent hours cleaning the house and he comes in and just chucks his crap everywhere, and then be like, oh, what, you tidied the house? And it's like, are you kidding me? I don't know, do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. Now I just let it go, or I'll just laugh and try and make a joke back. So I've definitely become a lot more tolerant. And also, if we used to have a row about something stupid, putting the bins out, it was never anything major. I would hold on to that argument and would not speak for hours, and would sit in silence watching the telly because I was just too stubborn to be like, okay, yeah, it was silly, you know, let's just forget it. Whereas now, 2 minutes later, we're obviously laughing at Max, or we're you know, saying something that happened today with Max. It usually is about Max, and I think Max has made me realise that you know, there's bigger fish to fry, and those silly little rows that you have are literally pointless. And also, you know, with other, I don't know, whether it's friendships or relationships, if someone says something sarcastic, I'm just like, whatever, just let it go. Who cares? Who cares? So I'm definitely, yeah, I feel it's actually nicer to be like that as well, rather than harbouring all this kind of like pent up frustration. It's just like, whatever, who cares? Number 4, I've also learned that you never stop. You never ever stop. You are always on the go. Even when you're sat down relaxing, tick, 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 there's things going on in my head. Right, what am I doing tomorrow? What do I need to get packed for Max? What's he having for lunch? What's he having for dinner? There's always something to be doing and thinking about. And, you know, we all know the same thing with housework and washing and cooking and ironing and blah, blah, blah. So there's all that stuff, obviously. But yeah, you just literally never stop, just always on the go. But it's great. I'm not complaining about that at all. But never enough hours in the day. Never. So yeah, I've learnt that. I've also learnt how much you can laugh in one day. I literally do laugh more than ever now. I mean, I always laughed anyway, especially when I'm with my sisters. I mean, we will literally just laugh and laugh at the most stupidest things. But Max makes Joe and I, and everyone that he's with, laugh all the time. So, you know, when I'm with him all day, every day, we do laugh. There's never really a down moment, apart from when he's, you know, if he's tired and I've kind of let it go over, or he's being a bit boisterous or whatever, or tell him no, or doesn't want to eat his lunch or something, then, you know, but the majority of the time I'm laughing, and I absolutely love that. So I've probably got more wrinkles from laughing, but hey, who cares? Another thing I've learned, multitasking is essential. I was always quite a good multitasker. And I always take the mick out of Joe for not being able to multitask, because I know I'm really sexist, but I don't think men can multitask, can they? Or can they? That is really sexist, I know. But I think even a man has publicly said men can't multitask, but I'm sure lots of men can multitask. However, multitasking as a parent, as a mum, is crucial. So yeah, whether it's feeding the baby, answering the phone, putting the shopping away, doing the dishwasher, whatnot. Joe's in the conservatory listening. Great timing that he just walks in on that bit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to walk.
We're going to Kew Gardens in a minute to the Christmas illumination, so I'm very excited about that. This is meant to be quite quick, so sorry if this is dragging on. So anyway, multitasking is essential, because we are super women. That's what we are. Number 7, to have eyes in the back of my head. I've learnt that now that Max is walking around all over the place. My God, yeah. So he can be from there to there in 2 seconds, and he's pulled the oven down, and he's got the cat food out and whatnot. So yeah, always got to be on the lookout, definitely. And number 8, I've learnt that I'm never on time for anything. And it is going to be my New Year's resolution to try and be more punctual. But, oh my God, I wasn't ever very good at it before, Max. And now it's just got worse. And my sisters take the mick out of me all the time for it. it's like, it's just a known thing that I'm always late, and I hate that, because I feel like I am a punctual person in myself, that I'm an organised person, but for some reason, I can never get to a place on time. And I can't blame Max for it, because I was like that before. I could blame Joe, but I'm not going to, because it's me. So yeah, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm never on time for anything. But I'm going to change. I'm going to try really hard, because especially when Max starts school, I do not want to be that mum who rocks up at the school gates at 9:10 and gets told off by the teacher, and all the parents are like, well, look at her, she's always late, he's not got his gym kit, he's not got his lunch. I cannot be that person. I cannot be that mum. Number 9, I'm stronger than I thought. I think I have always been quite an independent, strong woman, if you like, but you know, I've had wobbles in the past, of course I have, and I have doubted myself quite a lot about whether it's to do with jobs or, you know, being happy in myself or relationships or whatnot. I have always kind of, you know, battled with, oh God, can I do this? Am I strong enough to do this? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm definitely realised since being pregnant, going through pregnancy, I think I was really, I don't know whether it's luck or what, touch wood, but I had a really enjoyable pregnancy, and Max's birth was, I'm not going to say it was enjoyable, but you know what, it was probably one of the better ones, and better ones of all women, because obviously that was only my first time, but as first births go, it was pretty good, and I did actually enjoy the whole process looking back on it, and I think all women who go through birth are absolutely amazing and are so strong to be able to do that, because it is bloody hard, and then you've got a baby to look after, to care for, to literally be responsible for 24/7. And there have been days, you know, especially when Max was younger, I think it's got a lot easier now, but I'm sure there are going to be hard times coming up. But, you know, that newborn phase where both of you, the mum and the dad, are literally like, oh my God, what do we do? Because, you know, they kind of, you know, there are books to read, but Jesus, it's not, it's just kind of, you're on your own, really. But yeah, I think we've done an amazing job, and I definitely do feel a lot stronger and feel like I can deal with anything and everything. So I'm glad about that one. I like that one. And number 10, being a mother and wife is my most favourite thing in the world. I knew it would be. I've always wanted to be a mum. I've always wanted to, you know, be a wife and take care of my family. But I've definitely realised that it is my single most favourite thing in the entire world, and the love that I have for Max and Joe is just ridiculous. So yay! Bring on more love and happiness. It's a bit gushy, I know, but I have learnt a lot in 2015, and just wanted to share that with you. Let me know what you've learnt this year, and any New Year's resolutions, we'll maybe do that next time. So I'm wrapping this up because I'm late and we've got to go to Kew Gardens. So I'm going to video it, so I'll do a video of that too. So have a lovely evening, and I will see you soon. Bye!